Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be reviewing something special. This is the S.H.Figuarts Son Goku Ultra Instinct Toyotarou edition. Now, Toyotarou is the manga artist for the Dragon Ball Super manga and has a different style to Akira Toriyama, may he rest in peace. And because of that unique style, eventually they decided to make a figure that was more based on his art and his stylization. Which is cool because recently they've sort of been integrating that style a little bit more into the Figuarts, like the Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan Kaioken Goku that re-released in Japan. The cover art of that figure was done by Toyotarou and looked absolutely fantastic. And similar thing here, the cover art of this figure is done by Toyotarou as well. And this box in general looks absolutely fantastic. It looks incredibly premium. And that's because it comes with a little bit more than just the figure. It does also ape the style of the S.H.Figuarts with a promo image on the front and sides, as well as a hint at what's inside this box on the back with the Dragon Ball S.H.Figupedia. Because this is actually a two-part set. It's a figure as well as a catalogue of all of the Dragon Ball S.H.Figuarts up until this point, which is very cool. It does also include a couple future releases. As of recording this video, the Yamcha Android Saga, as well as the upcoming Super Saiyan 1 Gohan. But we might as well crack open the box and have a closer look. So here's the Figupedia. It looks absolutely fantastic. I love the big group shot of pretty much every Dragon Ball figure on the front, as well as a lot of the 1.0 releases on the back. But taken out of the box, you can see there's also another actual figure box for the Toyotarou Ultra Instinct, and this is more what we're accustomed to for the line. It is also kind of cool that they tried to mimic the art that he did for the front of the box with posing the actual figure on the front of this box, which is a nice little touch. But this is also very, very standard S.H.Figuarts format. It's more so what we're used to. I can imagine them releasing this again separately, being just this figure and not the Figupedia. But taken out of the box, here's what we're dealing with. So Ultra Instinct Goku comes with 5 faces, as well as an alternate head sculpt, and 4 pairs of hands. It's a pretty simple loadout, but the faces and the hair are the real reason why we're here. Because the original Ultra Instinct Goku came with a Kamehameha effect, and it was really, really cool. And some might see this as a little bit more limited, but I think the actual stylization for the Toyotarou sculpt for the head makes this more than worth it. Now, taken out of the box and put on a display, here is Toyotarou Ultra Instinct Goku. Now, body-wise, it's exactly the same as the original Ultra Instinct Goku, and I've even got him next to the new one so you can sort of see the direct comparison. Pretty much all the new stuff is in the head, although this new release does have a lot of shading throughout the body. I don't know if that shows on camera so well, and it looks really, really good with the additional shading. So it does feel a bit more new and a bit more premium. But having them side by side, you can see the difference in the head and hair sculpt, because Toyotarou's sort of Ultra Instinct, the hair goes a little bit more vertical and a little sharper, whereas the anime version, it's a little bit more simple and a little closer to like standard Goku hairstyles. The finish and detail on the hair is also a bit different. You can see more like streaks and hairlines throughout the hair, whereas the original release was sort of just like a standard clump of just color. Which there's nothing wrong with that, I just like more detail on the hair like they've done here. And all of the new detail on the faces and paintwork on the faces look good. I do think that the faces look just a touch too big, and I think that's because it's an old body, whereas it would have been nice if we got a new body, sort of like the legendary Super Saiyan Goku we got last year. Maybe not that bulky, but just a little bit bulkier to match the original cover art that they've done for this figure. But generally, still looks really good. But we might as well jump into posability. So he's got a ball joint at the head and neck, so he can move it around a little bit and a little bit of side to side. Nothing too crazy, pretty standard out of the 2.0 bodies. The arms can move out that far. They can rotate all the way around. There is an upper arm swivel, bend at the elbow, and hinge at the wrist. There is a ball joint in the upper chest, which allows for a bit of moving around. There is a noticeable gap in the chest depending on how you pose it though. You can also do the splits, Can kick forward that far and back that far, which is really good, especially for Ultra Instinct. He's got a bend at the knee, a swivel at the thigh, as well as a pivot at the ankle and hinge at the toe. He does also have a butterfly joint in the upper arm, but I forgot to show it. But it is pretty standard fare for Ultra Instinct Goku and any 2.0 body, nothing too crazy, but it's enough to get some fairly dynamic poses, especially with his alternate faces and accessories. So Goku comes with 5 faces, so he's got a neutral face out of the box, he's got a closed eyes face, which is really good for Ultra Instinct, because previously that only came with the Omen Goku faces, so it's nice to have this. He's got a teeth-gritted angry face, he's got a neutral looking to the side face, as well as a shouting face, and all of the detail work on these faces looks absolutely fantastic, with the new hair sculpt as well looks even better. But we also get a windswept hair effect, and I'm a little bit at odds with this hair sculpt because in some angles it looks fantastic, in other angles it looks horrible. It's a little bit awkward. But in general, if you pose it just right, the new hair sculpt looks good. The alternate hair sculpt looks good too, especially for like shouting and action poses. For neutral faces, it looks a little bit weird. But with all those faces, you can get a decent amount of poses and liveliness and action out of him. I didn't attach any of the sold separately Goku effect parts that they did last year, but I think these would match with the figure very, very well too. I think it's a really, really solid release. I think it looks better than the original Ultra Instinct Goku, but I do think the original is still probably a better package because of that Kamehameha effect, and it is nice that they're re-releasing that as well. I do recommend both of them, honestly, because they are good for 2 different reasons. I think this release is something special as well, and it's nice to have a little bit more love for the Toyotarou designs. But in general, a really solid release. I do think that it would be nice if they released him separately without the Figupedia at some point. I am very glad to have the Figupedia, and it is a really, really cool accessory, especially just flipping through the pages just to see where we'd come from, and as well as alternate releases to things. Really debating if I want to collect every single Figuarts, but I think that'll be the death of me. But I think it would be nice for collectors that don't want the Figupedia to just get the figure itself, and I can see them releasing it separately somewhere down the line, especially due to how this is packaged. It seems like you could just release the figure by itself, and you wouldn't have too many dramas. But that is a problem for Tamashii Nations to figure out. I'm happy to have a Figupedia, but I was just being a little bit more broad. And I wouldn't mind them tackling this again and again, just bulking Goku up just a little bit, maybe giving him a new Kamehameha effect part as well. But we'll see how we go. It would be nice if they did even like the more manga style of Ultra Instinct where he sort of is now, with like the classic Goku gi or something like that, instead of just like the shirtless torn up version from the Tournament of Power. But only time will tell. Who knows what we'll be getting next. I mean, we're getting another Blue Vegeta pretty soon, so that's interesting. Maybe Ultra Ego one day, maybe Super Anime will continue one day, who knows. But that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed that video, and I will see you all next time.